you are getting complacent in your life. Maybe you're sitting on your couch right now, eating a bunch of junk food again. Maybe you're skipping your workouts again. Or what's more important, maybe you're being complacent in your faith. And that's what this video is about, because maybe you've sort of to notice that you're just slacking in those spiritual disciplines. You're not reading your Bible anymore. Maybe you're praying just like once in a while when you feel like it. You're not as vigorous like David's mighty man. So what do we do here? It wasn't that long ago where I was just like you, where I was being complacent, where I was compromising, where I was regressing. I didn't see any growth because all I did was sit on my couch, sit on my bed, probably scratching my armpit. I don't know what I was doing, bro. Like, didn't feel like reading the Bible, so I didn't read it. You know, I didn't want to hang out with Christian people, so I didn't do it. And all I did was be a waste man, and I wasted time. For a long period of time, I didn't have any growth because I was just being lazy. When I start to realize that, hey man, like something's up here. I should not be in this position where I'm just slacking off all the time. There's something that's wrong. I want to get better. And so if you're watching this video, if you clicked on this video, you saw that title, I would assume that you're interested in this sort of thing and that you want to figure out how to stop being complacent, because maybe you've been realizing, maybe you've been noticing some of the symptoms, right, of slacking off, of not really progressing, sort of plateauing, being stagnant. You're wondering, what can I do? How can I get back on track? And so the concepts I'm going to be talking about in this video can apply to anyone's life. But as you guys know, this channel really is about faith and about Christian faith. And so how can I help you guys and teach you, inspire you to actually progress in that faith? So that's sort of like the audience of this video. So let's get started. So the first thing you have to understand is the 5 stages of development. This is sort of like a cycle that we all go through. This is something I sort of just came up with by myself, you know, but basically starts off with improvement, okay? This is the first stage, is when we're improving in life. And if we're talking in relation to our faith, this could mean that we're actually working on our faith and we're actually seeing some fruits, all right? So that's the first stage, improvement. The second stage is complacency. So after a while from improving, oftentimes we find ourselves getting complacent. You get used to doing all the spiritual disciplines that you sort of go on autopilot. You start doing the prayers just to do it, just to check it off. And you're not actually putting your heart into it. So that's the complacency part, all right? And so complacency leads on to stagnancy. Stagnancy, it's sort of like the air in your stinky room right now. But stagnancy is really just, it's like a plateau, right? So you were improving, and then you're getting complacent, and now you're just plateauing, all right? You're just plateauing. And the problem with this is that, see, you're not getting any better. You're not bearing any fruit. And what happens is it leads into the next stage, which is actually regression. Regression is when you get worse. Because when you're stagnant, it's easy to fall back into bad habits, into like previous sins. You're gonna be backsliding. And so this is the regression. You start going back and start getting worse. That's regression. That's the bad part. That's the thing that we want to avoid the most. And so the way we can get back up from a regression is through challenge. This is the final stage that leads us back to improvement. Because what challenge does is that it provides some sort of stimulus, something that creates a change that makes us like wake up from our stagnancy, our complacency, our regression, and understand that, bro, we have to do something different to make change so that we can keep moving forward and learn from these mistakes and get better in the end. And so when you look at this diagram as a whole, it's a cycle, right? You start off with improvement, you start getting complacent, you start getting stagnant, you start regressing, and then you need a challenge to get you back to improvement, and the cycle continues. What we want to do in life is we want to like lessen the time that we're in complacency, stagnancy, and regression. That means we want to keep improving. The only way we can do this is through challenges, right? So whenever we're improving and we sort of see a little dip, we want to challenge ourselves to keep us moving forward, keep us getting better. And so if challenge is sort of like the catalyst, something that we can actually like take action with and control the most, We need to be understanding, what is this challenge? And so what I was thinking about is that challenge can be like divided into these 3 subsections, these 3 steps, and they're in order, all right? So the first step is recognizing that we're complacent, that we've been compromising. And this involves like dropping our ego, dropping our pride, because a lot of people, they might be in a place of complacency or stagnancy or regression, and they don't really recognize it. They might be prideful, all right? And I'm not trying to bash anyone, right? I see this in myself when I am in these stages, and so this is why I'm talking about it. But it's easy for us to feel prideful and have that ego telling us that, yeah, this is fine, this is all right. But I mean, if you're watching this video, you've probably already recognized your complacency. That's why you've clicked on this video. And so you've already done the first step. So the next step is actually identifying the idols, identifying and removing them. What does this mean? And so in relation to faith, idols can be a bunch of different things, honestly. It's anything that takes our eyes, takes our heart off of God. This could really be, it could be school, it could be someone, it could be some side project that we're working on, some side hobby, something that's taken our attention, or it's something that we're just wasting time on. Maybe it's social media. It's not really something that we're passionate about, but it's something that is just wasting our time, and something that we're just it's just wasting us away. It's getting us complacent. So identifying whatever idols are in your life, whatever they may be, the things that are holding you back, the things that that are sinful maybe, it's things that you've been backsliding on, whatever those things are, identify them and remove them. But that's not enough, because the last step of challenge is to actually replace these bad things with good things. What does that mean? When we're trying to stop a bad habit or an idol, I guess, as we were talking about before, it isn't enough just to stop it. Because what happens is that if you stop doing something, you create this space of time that is like empty, You used to do those things, but now you have this empty time that can be used for anything, really. And that time can be used for bad things. Sorry for the win. So what you need to do is replace those bad habits with good habits, with good things. In relation to our faith, that means our spiritual disciplines, things that will get us closer to God. So let's give you an example. Maybe one of those idols that you have is you're watching porn, right? All you do is get on your phone and get excited watching 2 people having sex. So this would be a bad habit. But if you don't replace it with anything else, you're just gonna continue falling back into it, right? Because you still have that extra time. So what you need to do is replace that bad habit with a good habit. That means like reading the Bible or something, or praying, or memorizing verses, or meditating. All these different things. And these would be spiritual disciplines, because for that specific sin, a specific addiction, I think it requires a lot of spiritual disciplines to get us back on track. But the important thing here to know is that we always have to replace those bad habits with something good. Because if we have idle time leads to idle hands, and idle hands lead to idol worship. That's IDOL, worship. So if you have a bunch of extra time, what are you doing? You might be improving in your life, right? But then when you're getting complacent, right? Start doing autopilot, all the spiritual disciplines in your faith. And then you start getting complacent, you start getting that extra time, and that extra time needs to be filled with something. And that extra time could be filled with bad habits, but if you change it and do something good, you're not gonna fall back, you're not gonna regress. So you have to keep that in mind. And like I said before, the 5 steps of development is a cycle. So in life, we're gonna continue to cycle this. What we want to do, like I said before, is we want to reduce the time of complacency, stagnancy, and regression. We want to reduce it as much as possible. And because this is a thing that we do for life, it's a lifestyle, we need to find a way to make this sustainable, because challenging ourselves and doing these things, it gets tiring. And so what you need to have at your core is a reason for why you're doing these things. If you have no reason, you're not gonna pull through. You're not gonna persevere when the hard times hit. Because it's easy to say these things like right now, but when you're in the ruts, in the plateaus, in those dark times, you're just gonna fall back. It's gonna be very difficult. So you need to have a strong reason, a reason for why you're doing all these things. If you have no reason, you will have no drive. And if you have no drive, it will lead to no change in your life. And as Christians, because we always bring this back into our faith for this video, our reasons should be aligned with God. Maybe it's aligned with what He wants us to do. If you don't know what that is, maybe you just have to put in some more time and just try to figure things out. Because it takes a while. It takes years to figure out. But sometimes you don't actually need to know that, like, that deeper purpose of life for yourself. Maybe there's sort of like an overlying purpose for all Christians, right? Maybe the 2 commandments that Jesus tells us, right, which is to love God and love your neighbors. Maybe that's our purpose. That's like an overlying theme. And so if we have that as our reason, bro, we're just gonna stick to this. We're gonna stick to it. If our goal is to love God, like with all our heart, our strength, our mind, our soul, then is spending time on YouTube, like yourself right now, or on TikTok, or on Instagram, just scrolling for hours and hours, is that conducive to that reason, that purpose? If it's not, you're gonna have to cut it out, right? Cut out those idols, right? So you have to think about this strategically, right? Always bring it back to your reason, because if you have no reason, like I said, there's no drive, and there's gonna be no change. You're not gonna make it through that challenge, and you're not gonna be improving. You're just gonna get complacent again. So there's just a few more things that I want to talk about in this video, just to wrap things up. But I was thinking back and reflecting on some of the ruts, some of the plateaus that I was in this year, and what I found was that I will stay in a rut for a long time. Okay, I will stay in a rut for a long time if I'm not doing and keeping up with my habits or my disciplines. But if I am keeping up with my disciplines, I can get out really quickly. Because what I'm saying to you guys is that, I mean, in most of my videos, I'm telling you guys to work out. I'm telling you guys to meditate. I'm telling you guys to journal, pray, read the Bible, read your books, go outside. Like, I'm telling you to do all these habits because these habits, they're related to our improvement. They're related to our complacency. If we are always on track with our habits, we're gonna feel great. We're gonna feel great. At the end of the day, if you're feeling like accomplished, if you're feeling fulfilled, you're just gonna want more of that. But if at the end of the day you're feeling like trash because you indulge in your fleshly desires, you were just complacent, you just compromised, and you're just slacking off, you're just gonna feel like trash, right? So it's so important, even if you do not feel like doing these habits when you're in a rut, that you have to try your best to stick with them. Maybe you're not doing a full workout, but maybe you're just doing a 5-10 minute workout. Maybe you're not doing a 20-30 minute meditation, maybe you're just doing a 5-minute meditation. So maybe you have to scale things back, but always trying to like stay disciplined, keep on track with your habits. That's gonna get you like far. It's gonna keep you disciplined, keep you on track, and you'll see that you'll get out of those ruts so much faster. I think that consistency and hard work can really help. It can go a long way. It allows us to have a more sustainable development. So with our stages, right, we're looking for long-term sustainability. We're not looking for fast results. If you're looking for fast results, then this channel isn't for you. And really, you're gonna be really disappointed in life, I think. But if you realize that this life is a marathon, not a sprint, that every day we can make changes, slow incremental changes to improve, bro, you're gonna see that in a year, maybe even in just 3 months, you're gonna see so much change if you keep on track, if you keep these things in mind. But that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to comment below what you learned from this video. What were your takeaways? What concepts are you gonna apply to your life? Because I'm interested, I wanna know, and I wanna continue the discussion with you below. But that's really it, you know. Make sure to identify those idols, replace them with good things, and bro, you're gonna be on track. So, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, everybody. Let's go!
Amen.